Are we mic'd? We're good? I need to make sure this thing is going to run here. My preference actually would be to talk about what you want me to talk about tonight. So I have a slide deck, and we can use it, or we can throw it out and talk about what you want to talk about. Let's see, I got to get this thing to work. Now I got to remember my password to... Okay, there we go. Now I got to turn this off. My laptop wants to search for a wireless site here. Let's see. Okay. If it's okay with you, I'm gonna gotta be careful with that. Take my coat off and loosen my tie. Some of you have, clean up very good, okay, and others of you are casual. To be honest with you, it's Friday, and I don't know if anybody's ever worked anywhere where they have casual Fridays. My particular situation right now is business casual every day. So I teased the faculty here is I put on a tie for you because I usually don't wear a tie in my current job for the last couple of years, and before that I had to wear a tie and a suit every day because it was within a bank in Toronto. So I'm going to loosen my tie, and I hope if you have a tie and you want to loosen it, that's fine too. If you don't, that's okay as well. Like I said, I want this to be interactive, and I'd rather talk about what you want to talk about and help you, maybe as you consider where you are and your career aspirations and what you want out of your business degree or whatever degree you have. But you're here tonight, obviously, for some aspect of interest in the business world. So I want to make sure that I'm hitting you where you are and what's important to you. So what I have prepared tonight is to talk a little bit about leadership and what makes a great leader. I'm getting a lot of feedback, so hopefully that's not going to be a bother. And if this works right, this thing's going to keep popping up. I hope it doesn't cause a problem. If I was smart enough, I'd probably figure out how to turn that off. There we go. Okay. I used to be an athlete. Jordan would tell you it used to be is the operative word here. But I love quotes, and I especially love quotes from athletes. And this happens to be an athlete that went on, obviously, to receive a doctorate. And the quote goes, "Leadership is like gravity. You know it's there, you know it exists, but how do you define it?" And you're going to leave here tonight, and I will tell you, I'm not going to define it succinctly and distinctly for you, because leadership means many things to many people. But I do want to talk about a couple things about the difference between a manager and a leader. The idea of, well, let's ask you, would anybody like to take a stab at what a leader is? You're all smart college students, and I'm a dumb parent. I know this by definition because I had 4 kids that came here, and when they were young, Dad was smart, and when they got to high school and college, Dad wasn't so smart. I'm smart again now, by the way, as they have grown up. So it's interesting how parents change like that. But anybody want to take a shot? What's a leader? Exists? What's out there? Anybody? Do I have a... Oh, I thought maybe you were shifting. Maybe you were going to... No volunteers. Okay, go ahead.
Somebody that takes initiative of a certain idea and make it happen.
Somebody that takes initiative, that's certainly part of it.
Somebody who has followers.
Somebody that has followers. Obviously, to be a leader, you have to have followers. That's certainly operative. The question is what kind of followers, too, right? Okay. Anybody think that there's a difference between being a manager and a leader? A manager and a leader. No? I'll tell you, you guys are you always this? It's okay. I'm not going to bite, And by the way, I don't have answers. If you think I have all the answers for you, I don't. Maybe your professors have. Well, in fact, I know they have more answers than I do. But all right, But they don't have to be mutually exclusive, and many leaders are managers. But leadership and management are two very different qualities. And I'm not going to talk about management tonight. And there's a whole study on the culture of management and everything else. But I am going to talk about leadership and would like to dwell on that just a little bit about kind of what it takes to be a good leader. And this isn't an exhaustive list. This is not in any order of priority, wasn't intended. And these are not ideas or points that are unique to me, because I have stolen this, without any shame from a number of parties that I've worked with and had the privilege of sitting under their own tutelage in the past. But they sort of struck me as these are some of the characteristics that I've experienced in my career from people that I really said, now that's a person who I will follow. Because a leader really, when it gets down to it, in the simplest definition, is somebody who can energize an organization and get them to follow, often by example, and that's often a great characteristic, but somebody who has the right kind of energy, the right kind of, the right stuff people talk about, that helps drive a vision and performance and substance of whatever organization it is. That could be a church, that could be a business, that could be the business office at Houghton College. Okay, but see, here's some of the characteristics. Embraces challenges and takes risk. Everything you get involved in life is going to have challenges. I don't care whether it's challenges of your curriculum today, of balancing study and some social life, maybe sports if you play sports, or maybe you're acting, or maybe you're music. You have challenges because there's 24 hours in a day and there's never enough hours in those days, are there? Well, in business, you have a lot of challenges, and one of the characteristics that, for me, distinguishes true leadership from folks that are just going along is they not only face and accept challenge, they embrace it. It is an opportunity for them. And within that context, they're willing to take risk. Now, taking risk is one thing, but there's the idea of informed risk and just, okay, I'm just going to take a flyer and without thought. So risk-taking often involves informed judgment. I was talking a little bit about with Mr. Hallberg, Professor Hallberg. I would call him Dick because we went to school. He was actually ahead of me, so he was a good soccer player, by the way. I don't know if he ever talks about that, but he was talking to me. I was very interested in anybody here part of the investment group on college here? Handful. What a wonderful and unique opportunity. But you understand this idea of risk, right? And risk and reward. When you invest in a stock, you do it because you heard something wonderful about it. Well, you might have heard something wonderful about it. Because it has some name recognition? Well, maybe. But what's the one reason you invest in a stock? You did your homework, right? You've looked at growth potential. You've looked at price-earnings ratios. You've looked at a lot of different factors and say, this has the right balance of things of risk and reward that we're going to make an investment. So leaders make informed judgments about the risks they take. Leadership always involves a team. And so how do you enable your team to perform? Starts with trust.